There were a few things. I think the range of topics covered, so the fact that each week was a different kind of focus, a different theory, was a real appeal. And particularly being new to coaching, I think that just gives you that kind of broad range to try different things. The fact that you got to practice coaching, which I know some courses don't, so both within the weekly sessions but between sessions, and actually that it was aimed particularly at doctors. So I think, although scary at the start being with all colleagues, I think that was a real benefit in terms of kind of coming from similar backgrounds, and some of the discussion, particularly in terms of using either coaching with patients or with other healthcare professionals. So I think all coming from the same background was helpful as well. And the fact that it was remote and online, I think, meant that I could fit it in alongside the day job. So that was another appeal. I think there were a few, if I can have more than one. I think of all the modules, I think the one that I'd never looked at before was positive psychology. So I found that really interesting, and I've read a lot more around that. So I think some of the other theories, kind of transactional analysis, I'd looked at during training, not in as much depth as we've done on the diploma, but positive psychology was something I'd not looked at before at all. So I think from a enlightening point, and from a personal perspective, I found that interesting, but also kind of transformative from my own thinking and kind of habits. So I think of the modules, that was the most enlightening. I think the bonding between everyone on the course, again, has been really good and helpful. So that kind of weekly coaching almost, again, has been really helpful at kind of personal development, and being able to kind of pick up the same themes potentially over several weeks. So that's been really helpful as well. I think, again, probably a couple of things. One was the kind of academic stimulation. So it was interesting from a theoretical point, but also then applying that. So trying out new ways of either asking questions, new techniques. So things like, again, River of Life. Someone had used it with me in a kind of session, but to use that with a client and see how helpful it was. So that was really enjoyable to see that working. And again, that peer support, I think, was between both in the sessions, but between the sessions was, really enjoyable and helpful. I think it's done really well. So from a kind of medical education background, particularly with COVID, having to convert lots of kind of undergraduate modules to online, I think the diploma's done really well. So that combination of releasing a module at a time, so you've not got that, let's just skim through them and get them all out of the way. So that's helpful. I think they're done in nice bite-sized chunks. So again, fitting it around the day job, you don't have to do all 4 hours. You can do, often they kind of broke down into 4 or 5 sections, so you can do a section at a time. I think it's a really nice mix of reading and videos and activities. So again, it's not just scrolling through lots of text on the screen. It's broken up with a range of videos, either Tom or external videos, and then the activities to make you think and apply it to different situations. So it's a really good mix. And then obviously coming together as a group and reflecting on and discussing and thinking about the module really reinforces it. Yeah, I found it really well done. And even the kind of classroom sessions on Zoom, I think because it was a small enough group, you could see everybody, you could interact. There's lots of breakout time during the online session. So again, it keeps you engaged and helps you get to know your colleagues on the course. So yeah, so I've got some practice clients in order of building up my coaching hours. So that's predominantly with our trainees. So I've offered some coaching sessions to the trainees to build up my experience. And I'm about to dip my toe in the water to paid clients. So I'm teaching on a course at the weekend for GPs. So I'm going to advertise my coaching just on a slide for that. So I'm about to embark on looking for paid clients, and then thinking about how I build this into my working week. So currently I'm doing a 3-day a week permanent job. I'm doing 2 days a week as a locum. So I'm looking kind of post-Christmas how I'll build time into my week. Obviously potentially doing less locum work to have time in my week to do some paid coaching. So slightly scary, but exciting as well. Do it. Yeah, I think it's been one of the most useful courses I've done in my career, postgraduate wise. I think Tom's an excellent facilitator, really knowledgeable but passionate, holds the group together really well. As I say, the online learning is really well put together. The practice coaching. So yeah, I've got no hesitation in recommending it to colleagues.